Welcome into Round of the Bases Extra Innings. We've got 4 final questions with Patrick Sallee, and I highly encourage everybody, as I always do, but this was such a great conversation, to go and check us out wherever you get your podcasts. Check out the audio version of this. I want to hit you with something fun to start with. College basketball and college sports. What do they mean to your life to where you're at now?
Oh, man. It meant a huge amount. So I played at a small school in Oklahoma Baptist University. I played basketball. I don't look like it, but I did. And the NAIA school, it was a phenomenal experience to participate in at that level, which for me was sort of the highest level I could play. But my senior year, we played in the NAIA championship game in Kansas City. I say played in because we didn't win it. But the friendships and the relationships, and frankly, like the early signs and like settling in for me of life unfairness that we talked about earlier started there. Because some of my closest friends would say, I'm going back to New Orleans and going to do what I was doing before and do what everybody else does. But you actually have opportunity. Like you have to on my behalf, go pursue everything you can. And realizing just where you're from and where you grow up has such an impact, as we talked about. It was eye-opening for me.
Well, I don't know why you say you don't look like a basketball player. I mean, you're wearing.
I guess you can't see how short I am. I
can't see how short you are via camera. So I mean, for me, you're 6'5" and you got a great outside jump shot and on and on and on. So it's all good there. Second question as we round the bases here. We talked a lot about community in the audio version of the podcast, but I'm just wondering, in recent times through your adversity and then pandemic, how much that has crystallized for you, or maybe it was beforehand, like what you've learned over the last couple of years when everything changed and yet Vibrant came out on the positive side here that you, so I guess it's, what did you learn about community? What did you learn about your people?
Well, first, I would say just continue to be amazed at how resilient people are in general, and that I mean that in a broad sense of people, not just people I get to work with every day, but the people in our community and friends and acquaintances. It's been a rough couple of years. I think in terms of community engagement, it has put me personally in a position of feeling like it's time to double down on that effort. I mean, thinking about political climate and some of the things around criminal justice reform and those, it just has really amplified the need to speak up a little more and to be in rooms that may be uncomfortable and to say things people may not want to hear, just because there's too much at stake. And I don't think we can pretend that we're past all those times. 2022, almost 2023, a lot of that's gone, and the reality is it's not. And the last few years have just sort of given me more juice to feel like we need to speak up more.
I love that. Third question, as we round the bases, how much we talked in the audio version of the podcast about 10 years now of sobriety, your success story, but you also, touched a little bit on family too. And I'm just wondering this is an obvious question, but it's an important one too. What family has meant to you?
Oh man. So family has been the rock in all the things that I've gone through, from my parents and my brother and my extended family to, in the last handful of years, I have 4 daughters. I have 2 of them. I have twin girls that are 12. And so when I went through a lot of the initial things, they were really, really young. But their mom has been great and been supportive. And then my wife and I have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, all girls. All 4 are girls. And my wife is a rock around work and home life and all the things we're trying to do, and is incredibly supportive of the personal choices and the challenges associated with it. And the things, as you well know, like you can't go do the job and do the work and all the stuff without people behind you supporting and cheering you on. We don't do anything alone, and they're the superstars in it all.
I'm just laughing at all the girls because I only have one. I got one of each, and I would be happy and blessed for whatever that number and ratio is. But
yeah,
that's a lot of females in one house.
Yeah, the dog's a boy. We got a boy dog.
Well, all my dogs are girls, and we've got our son too. So it's all good. It's all what makes life worthwhile. No doubt about it. So my last question, the walk off. I'll go a little bit deep with this one. I mean, from in jail and solitary confinement to leading this incredible organization and making an impact in the community. I hear your story, and you don't have to have spent time in jail. You don't have to have been arrested, but everybody goes through tough times. That's a very obvious statement. And we hear about, you could fight back and some do and some don't, but we all deal with it. We all deal with adversity. And right now, in this day and age, with mental health, life's hard. It is for everyone. I know that's true of the athletes too. That's true of a CEO. Everybody's going through stuff. I mentioned that in the audio version of the podcast. And I know you've had to battle and will continue to battle for your own success and the success of your family and the success of Vibrant Health and the community. But you are an inspiration too, whether you want to be or choose to be or not. And I'm just wondering what kind of advice, just overall, overreaching, general, that you give to someone that's down and out, because you are an example that there is hope on the other side.
That's a good question.
A little deep, I know.
I wish you'd prep me with that one.
Sometimes these thoughts pop into my head, but you are living it, and I just want to recognize it, because I mean, to me, there's work to be done that you've talked about within Vibrant, but there's also work you're doing potentially to help others without maybe even always meaning to.
Yeah, I think that it goes back to a lot of what we talked about before, and thinking about the day to day. And how do you find the small wins, and how do you figure it out? Because I remember when I was 100 days sober, my dad sent me a text message and said, "Congratulations on 100 days sober." And for me, that was I was still infuriated by it. Like, I was still what is that? That's not an accomplishment. What am I celebrating here? Like, this was this massive screw up and this massive problem in my life that I couldn't solve, and I'm supposed to be happy that I haven't it's been 100 days since I screwed up. Like, that, I just couldn't wrap my head around why that's a good thing. And it took me a while because I carried that sort of view of it for a while, and in time I was able to sort of figure out, like, it's the rhythm of that, and it's the routine, and then it becomes like, no, it's 100 days. Like, I've got something to build with. It's 150 days, and it's 151 days, and now there's something to lose. There's some tangible thing here at a point where I would be risking all these things. Like, I can't now let this go. And I don't. Obviously, it varies on what the challenges are, but I think in general, thinking about each day and each success, and we're building blocks, trying to get there. And the more wins you can string together, the better. And you got to focus on the wins.
Yeah, it's really powerful, and thanks for indulging me on it, because I think it really wraps up everything that you've talked about. And I didn't know exactly where it would go, but it is that day by day, and that's something we could all learn from, whether we're going through tough times, personally, work, finance, or not. That we just got to keep building every single day.
I mean, one of the things we talk about here is taking things back to the basics. So, like, when we have something breaks, we're worried about what's going on with this thing. We thought it was working. Unpack it all. Start at the beginning. Like, let's go back and build it step by step. It's fine. We'll get there. Let's start over and go, sequentially through it. This starting back at the basics.
I love it. I love it all. The insight has been incredible. I appreciate your candor, your vulnerability, and the inspiration as well. Again, if anybody's watching this portion of it on YouTube, check out the audio version if you have not already. Share this with your friends. I think it can help a lot of people and provide a lot of insight and perspective. Patrick, thanks again for doing this.
Yep. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.